Zelenskyy calls on world to punish Putin for ecocide. Lives broken, ecosystems destroyed.
Here's a summary of the article.
President Volodymyr Zelenskyy has addressed representatives of the international environmental community and called on them to help Ukraine overcome the consequences of the Russians' destruction of the Kakhovka hydroelectric power plant and flooding in the south of Ukraine. Quote, "This Russian crime of ecocide is the largest in Europe in decades, but apparently, the Russian occupiers have decided to further aggravate its consequences. The number of ecosystems that have been destroyed or pushed to the brink of extinction by this Russian terrorist act is already in the thousands. More than 50,000 hectares of forests have been flooded, and at least half of them will die. Tens of thousands of birds and at least 20,000 wild animals are at risk of death. Obviously, the Kakhovka reservoir has been turned into a huge graveyard for millions of living beings. International organizations have begun to help in the territory controlled by Kyiv, but pressure also needs to be put on them to help in the occupied territory," Zelenskyy said. Quote, "Just as we have established special expert groups to promote sanctions and security guarantees for Ukraine, so we are establishing an expert group that will primarily focus on consolidating the world so that Russia is fully responsible for the ecocide and so that our country is not left alone with this tragedy, the ecocide." Details. Zelenskyy added that only joint efforts can ensure that the flooded area does not become a desert, a ruin or a dead zone after this disaster. The president therefore called on representatives of the global environmental community to spread the truth about the Russian ecocide and to urge countries and international organizations to act.
This post received a score of 22,000, with an upvote ratio of 92%. Here are the top comments in response to this article.
The damn Russians are shelling rescue workers.
UN peacekeeping force should go in. Not NATO. Branded, so as not to poke the hollow bear.
The UN cannot go in. Don't forget who holds a veto. Russia would never permit UN interference. This must be NATO. Russia must be stopped before this escalates further, and Russia cannot present a credible resistance to NATO.
Raises the question of whether a veto from the offender should be recognized. If it's NATO, it will escalate tensions.
China would veto in any case. Doesn't matter.
At least put them on record for refusing to send humanitarian aid to a region flooded by the Russians. Let history remember.
Is not wrong, but short of actually going to war with them, how much more can the world punish Russia beyond what had already been done?
He wants help, international Red Cross and humanitarian relief, and more weapons from other countries.
That is helping Ukraine in the same way up until now. Not measures that directly punish Russia, I think.
Respond forcefully now, or deal with the next atrocity. It always gets worse until we stop it.
I mean, I'm down, fuck it. I'm kind of getting tired with Return of the Nazis over here in the US anyway.
Ditto.
Putin is a coward. He will be remembered as a coward and a corrupt failure who leaves Russia worse off than when he took power. That takes otherworldly levels of stupid.
It's not stupidity, it's greed, hatred, and an absolute lack of empathy. Three things that are all too common nowadays. What'll we do? Sanction them? It's not like they're going to stop anytime soon or suddenly give up. It just feels like it doesn't really matter. We say they would only notice direct action.
There is room for more sanctions by design, and yes, they do sting.
Honestly, I don't doubt that it does. I just don't think it will stop them from invading Ukraine.
I've kinda begun questioning them. Obviously they have an effect, but to my understanding sanctions are financial siege tactics, and what good are sieges if they don't fully isolate a town? Russia, it seems, in short, just turned east, south for them, I guess, for new trading partners. Not to be all war hawkish, but I think the solution is more military aid to Ukraine. Like a lot more. Sanctions or not, this will be settled by military support, I think.
I understand what you mean, not to seem dramatic, though it does just feel like it's fanning the flames when someone says that, but violence seems like the only language they understand.
Putin is not deterred from further atrocities, unless he can expect a corresponding response.
This video was automatically created by Reddit to speech. The article and comments in this video were selected from Reddit according to their upvotes. And any paraphrasing was performed by smmry.com, without any human intervention.